Is America guilty of receiving stolen property? The question of whether America is guilty of receiving stolen property is a complex and multifaceted issue. It touches on historical events, legal interpretations, and ethical considerations. This document explores the concept from several perspectives, including the nation's founding, cultural artifacts, and international relations. 1. Historical context. Colonial era. The foundation of the United States involved the acquisition of land from indigenous peoples, often through force, treaties that were later broken, or unfair negotiations. Many historians and activists argue that this constitutes the original receiving of stolen property. Slavery. The forced labor and appropriation of wealth from enslaved Africans contributed significantly to America's early economic growth. The legacy of slavery continues to raise questions about restitution and justice. 2. Cultural artifacts. Museums and collections. Many American museums house artifacts and artworks that originated in other countries. Some of these items were acquired during periods of colonial expansion or conflict, leading to ongoing debates about repatriation. Legal disputes. There have been numerous legal cases where countries have requested the return of cultural property, arguing that these items were taken unlawfully. 3. Legal perspective. Definition of receiving stolen property. Under U.S. law, receiving stolen property involves knowingly accepting goods that have been unlawfully taken from their rightful owner. Application to nations. While the law typically applies to individuals, some argue that nations can also be held accountable for possessing or benefiting from stolen goods, especially in cases involving cultural heritage or land. 4. Ethical considerations. Moral responsibility. Beyond legal definitions, there is an ethical question about whether America has a responsibility to acknowledge and address the injustices of the past. Reparations and restitution. Discussions about reparations for slavery, land acknowledgements, and the return of cultural artifacts are ongoing. These efforts aim to address historical wrongs and promote healing. 5. International relations. Diplomatic tensions. The issue of stolen property can strain relationships between the U.S. and other nations, particularly when it comes to the return of cultural artifacts or addressing historical grievances. Global standards. International agreements, such as the UNESCO Convention, set guidelines for the return of stolen cultural property, and the U.S. participates in these efforts. Conclusion. The question of whether America is guilty of receiving stolen property does not have a simple answer. It involves a careful examination of history, law, and ethics. While there have been efforts to address some of these issues, the debate continues, reflecting the ongoing struggle to reconcile the past with present-day values.